How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Can't complain.
So first, I guess, good morning from here in LA.
I'm in LA too.
Oh, well, there we go. So it's, a sunny day for both of us. During the pandemic, I've been asking everyone the same two first questions, which is, what TV series would you love to guest star on?
Succession.
I hear that answer a lot. Fantastic show. What movie or movies do you think you've seen the most?
Robert Altman's Nashville and Mean Girls.
Okay, those are two great choices.
Thank you.
Jumping into why I get to talk to you today, what was it about the script, the story? What was it about this project that said, I want to do this?
It really intimidated me. It was the world of social media is something that scares me so much. I don't think about it very often. And that I don't even mean scary, like I think it's bad. I just don't understand it. And it feels like an unbelievably powerful tool that I don't know how to use properly. It's like, it feels like I have like a samurai sword hanging in my kitchen and there's an invader at the door and I have to figure out how to defend myself with this giant heavy samurai sword that I've never picked up before. It's sort of the way I feel about social media. And so because of that, I always want to do things that scare me, and make me explore parts of myself or parts of my world that I don't think about because I don't want to. And this movie did that for me. And so that drew me in. But really the thing that drew me in was wanting to work with Gio really badly and wanting to learn about acting from Andrew and that. So that was those things drew me in too.
Listen, I think Andrew's a fantastic actor, but I also think he's very brave in this because there's a scene where he's running around Hollywood Boulevard naked, wearing like this underwear penis thing. And I'll be honest, I don't think I could do that. It's very brave. What was your reaction when you heard he was doing this? Or, because it's pretty ballsy.
I think that this thing happens with actors all the time, which is you get a script and you read scenes. Like it happened for me on Stranger Things. Like I read the scene where I was going to be like tied up in a Russian prison or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, can't wait to do that. And then you get to the day in which you're doing it and you're like, wait, you really have to tie me to a chair? Like, I don't want to do it. Because like it sounded so fun on camera. It's like, oh, cool, my character has a black eye. And then you're like, oh, wait, you have to paint on a black eye every day and I have to put a contact lens in, like, Jesus. So the reality of something and the idea of something is really different, and that's always really hard for me. And I can totally imagine reading this script. If Frankie had to do that, I can imagine you being like, oh my God, I can't wait to do that. I'm going to run naked through Hollywood Boulevard. It's going to be great. And then like the day would arrive in which I had to do it. And I would be like, no way. But I don't even think Andrew's hands shook. I mean, he's so brave and he was so deeply in the zone of this character while we were making this movie that I didn't even hear his voice quiver or his handshake. It was all about the movie and it was an important scene for the movie. And so it was going to happen.
Well, there's also, and I could be wrong about this, but it almost feels like you were filming real moments, like with the art poster on the wall when you were filming that scene, like were those people that were standing there real? Because I got the vibe they were.
I won't tell you when it was real and when it wasn't. Sometimes in this movie it was real and sometimes it wasn't. And that was kind of Gia's idea, was to mix real moments in with contrived moments in order to create a real experience. And to me, it was very effective.
Oh, 100%. There's a line in the movie that I really liked, which is Andrew says, you want to make art or chase affirmation from faceless strangers. And I think that represents so many people online. And you were talking about social media. Can you sort of talk about that so many people are just looking for likes rather than actually spending their time creating art?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what this movie is really about. It is in some ways about social media, but to me, it's actually about what can happen if you make people who make art for years and years and years that nobody likes, right? Always make art that comes from their soul. And the only motivation to make it is because they believe in it. Like, if you take an artist like Alice Neal, right? She was a painter. And she was never successful in her lifetime. And she made these beautiful portraits because she had to make them. But once you make art that becomes popular, that starts to make money, there's this other motivation to make art, which is not, I want to make this because I have to make it and it's in my soul, but it's, I want to make it because there's demand for it and money could be made off of that. And that's both money for me and money for all these other people, money for the company that hired me, money for my friends, money for, and so keeping track of your motivation and of why you make things, because that's a very quick path to start making bad art and even potentially dangerous art, like art that isn't good for people. So to me, that's what this movie is really about. So I think that's a great quote to pull up, because Andrew said that. I mean, Link says that. And then what does he do? He does exactly the thing he warned not to do. So I think you hit the nail on the head there with that question.
I'm almost out of time with you. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Stranger Things. And it feels like Stranger Things season 4 has been filming for 17 years. When do you actually finish filming the series?
It feels that way to me too. I'm not allowed to tell you when we finish filming, but I can tell you that, like, though it's been forever, because we've had so much time, the level of effort, interest, and detail that the Duffer Brothers have had the time to put into these scripts, and that the actors have had the time to think about their characters, and it is going to be awesome. And I'm so proud of the work that everyone is doing. And I can't wait for people to see this season. It's been a long wait, but I think it will be worth it.
I just heard Netflix just announced this morning this Fear Street trilogy. What can you tease about this thing? Because it sounds really cool. It's in 3 different time periods.
Well, I don't know. I haven't gotten my Netflix brief yet on what I can and can't tease, but I can say this. It's got a lot of people in it that I love. Sadie Sink is in it, and my friend Fred is in it, who is Fred Heckinger, who's an amazing actor, and has been one of my best friends since high school, and it was really fun to make. And Lee is an amazing director. That I cannot wait to see these movies. I haven't seen them, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, just so you know, they announced there's 3 different films, 3 different time periods, all connected to one story. And it sounds really interesting. And I can't believe that it was all made without anyone knowing.
I also can't believe it. I mean, when you see the movie, you'll understand the reason that I'm answering these questions the way that I'm answering them. And it will all make sense to you. I can't really say more than that.
I completely understand. Listen, congrats on everything that's going on with you, and wish you nothing but the best. Stay safe and healthy.
Thank you. You too.